Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news throughout the day that I come across, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day today, as today is July 11th, and it is Friday. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. As for me, it is hot. It is 100 degrees right now, and it is still 6 o'clock. I was hoping that it would cool down, but unfortunately, that is not the case. As I wonder what it feels like. A high of 102 feels like 103. That is crazy. I am sweating. It is hot out here. So, with that being said, let's get into the news because I don't know how much longer I can stand this. Anyways, sorry for the yawn. I'm a little tired today. If my page would load. Moving into the Trump administration segment today, the first topic we have is Trump, as the White House has compared Trump to Superman. In posts on social media, the White House has essentially done ads for the new Superman movie. The post includes an AI picture of Superman with Trump's face and said, "The symbol of hope, truth, and justice, the American way, Superman Trump." You know, I think if Trump actually knew, anything about Superman, he would in no way be posting this at all. Trump literally compared himself to a man who is essentially the embodiment of woke. I wonder what Trump's kryptonite is. Epstein? But on a serious note, Superman, not Trump, is the definition of woke. He's bisexual for one. But what do you guys know about pink kryptonite? Not to mention he's literally an alien from another planet who actively works to help people. Like, Trump would be trying to deport Superman by now. He would not be Superman himself. But hey, at least he didn't post himself as one of the X-Men. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Trump posted himself as one of the X-Men? That would be insane. Holy struggling, like my computer is freezing and jumping around. It doesn't like the heat as much as I do. Holy. Moving on, in other news, Tom Homan says that ICE can detain people based on their physical appearance. In a new Fox News interview, Tom Homan said that people should understand and be detained. Holy English. In a new Fox News interview, Tom Homan said people should understand that they can be detained and questioned based on their physical appearance. Homan said, "People need to understand that ICE officers and Border Patrol don't need probable cause and can just walk up to somebody, briefly detain them, and question them, even based off of their physical appearance, no matter what." ICE is already doing this to people. The fact that a active member of the administration and one of the more higher ranking members of the administration is actively going on national television and saying something like this is absolutely fucking disgusting. Am I surprised? No, absolutely not. It's every day. It's the same bullshit, just a different backstory. It really is. But come on. It's unprofessional. It's disgusting. It is horrid, just like the rest of this administration, which is something else, to say the least. It really is. Moving on, an FBI or deputy FBI director is considering resigning due to the entire Epstein conflict. Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongio, has told People that he is considering resigning amid clashes between the FBI and Justice Department over the Jeffrey Epstein client list. This came after a heated conversation between him and Pam Bondi. Both Bongino and the FBI Director Kash Patel were confronted on if they claimed or if they were behind a story that the FBI wanted to release more information on Epstein. Sources say it's up in the air if he will leave his position or not, but it is very possible that he will keep his position. Bongino reportedly didn't come to work on Friday which fueled speculations, but a source told CBS that the whole thing has been a complete mess and nobody at all is happy, no matter where you are in the FBI especially. He definitely knows something, and I mean definitely 100% knows something, and I really, really hope he says it. All it takes is one person with a little bit of proof to turn so many heads. Should MAGA have turned over their heads a long time ago? Yes, absolutely. But, we've taken these little wins and ran with them so far, and we need to do that here. If this is the straw that breaks the um, camel's back, now is the time to discuss and educate people. I mean, we're 7 months into an administration that is actively a shit show and is actively taking and destroying lives. But, now is the time to be worried about how we can do it and not why it's happening. You know, we need to make more people aware of what's going on. A win is a win, and at the end of the day, if we want to move forward with those wins, the best idea is to rehabilitate and not put down those who are trying to come to the other side. Are they victims? No, absolutely not. Is their reasoning terrible? Yes, absolutely. But putting people down and berating them just because they finally realize that they're in the wrong is not how you succeed. The best way to do it is educate them and help them get on the right path. Moving on, the Department of Justice released the Department of Justice video released of Epstein. The release of the Department of Justice video of Epstein was likely modified, if I could say that. A new Wired report claims that the 10-hour video of Epstein's cell before he died was likely modified before the release. The report said the footage was not directly extracted from the prison surveillance system and was likely modified with Adobe Premiere Pro, but there is no evidence of what was changed and if the change was meant for deception. The report says it might have just been a simple process of editing before public release, but there has been no clear explanation from the administration or anyone involved. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think we will ever know if that video is edited or not. Will we hear about the Epstein files and what is in them eventually? Probably. But I think any proof that, he wasn't killed by someone else is long gone. We likely won't know what really happened, and, I don't think we ever will. But, anyone involved with Epstein should 100% feel the consequences. The files should be leaked. The list should be leaked. Everything should be available so the public knows who are the bad ones. It is very clear that it is both Democrats and Republicans, but we need to know so we can get them out of office. We know it's Trump. We need to know the rest so they can all be gone as well. In other news, the Trump administration is erasing bisexual people from government websites. The Trump administration is quietly erasing pages referencing bisexual people on the Stonewall National Monument website, according to journalist Aaron Reed. Reed said they are literally doing by erasure. She highlighted changes to the language on the site. Previously, the site had been rewritten to remove trans people, saying, before the 1960s, everything about living lesbian, gay, or bisexual was illegal. But this month, they changed it to not even say bisexual anymore. Rather than talking about LGBTQ rights, the website now calls them lesbian and gay rights, not referencing bisexual or trans people at all. This is absolutely disgusting. Communities are being attacked left and right by the Trump administration, and it's not okay. I mean, since January, we have essentially lost half of the LGBTQIA acronym, holy word, in this country. They want to completely remove the LGBTQIA plus community from society, and that is not something anyone should stand for. Because if you allow that to happen, you allow any group or any community to be removed from society. For years, this community has had to deal with hate speech and so much more for being the people who we are or for loving who we want to love. And bottom line, that is not okay. Bottom line, it should be a basic human right to not only be who you are, but to be in love with the person you want to be in love with. And to anyone who says different, you are a vile and disgusting human being. Moving on, the Trump administration has quietly agreed not to fully abolish FEMA. For months, the Trump administration has said FEMA could be eliminated after flood, but after floods in Texas, the administration has silently moved away from the idea. A senior White House official said that no official action is being taken to take down FEMA and that changes of the agency would most likely amount to a rebranding. The official emphasized that Trump would ultimately make the final decision, but FEMA is no longer set to be abolished. This actually might be the first genuinely America first thing that Trump has done. FEMA is essential to American safety in a national disaster and should absolutely not go anywhere. As we saw in Texas, if another thing happens like this, thousands could die without the program, and that is not okay at all. But, at the very least, this administration could admit they're wrong. I know Trump's whole thing is deny, 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 never admit that you're wrong and you always win. But I mean, come on. Like, you clearly fucked up and let people die. You can at least have a little sympathy, if I can say that word. But, hey, I guess it's really just too much for Trump's ego anyways. It's disgusting. It really is. Moving on into our other news segment today, we have two topics for this evening. First one being a DACA recipient was sent to Alligator Alcatraz. One of the first transfers from Orange County to Alligator Alcatraz was a 36-year-old who is legally in the U.S. The man is a recipient of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, a program that shields undocumented people who arrive as children from deportation, and he was picked up because of a traffic violation. His attorney, Josephine Oreo, said she only had this chance to speak with him once since his arrival, and said the man described swarming mosquitoes, non-working toilets, and terrible food. This has caused a large amount of questions towards the Trump administration, as Trump has previously claimed that only the worst of the worst would end up in Alligator Alcatraz, but seemingly here that is not the case. I am in no way shocked with this. Honestly, I was just waiting it to happen because it was a matter of time that somebody legally in the United States was going to be put in this facility. The worst part is, I don't think it would be at all surprising if we had another situation like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, yet this time it's on U.S. soil. It is key that we continue to speak out against these facilities themselves and against ICE. ICE is clearly wasting their money on nothing for these facilities. So not only should that program be abolished, but all these people must be set free. It is not an experience any living thing should have to go through, and it must be stopped. The fact that, it's not a human rights violation, or actually, it is. I take that back. It is a human rights violation. The fact that it's not against, actually, it's against the Geneva Convention, too, I'm pretty sure. You're doing so many illegal things here. I can't even, say anything about that. You are actively committing human rights violations by rounding up and detaining people. You are, I'm pretty sure, actively going against Geneva Conventions by rounding up and detaining people and putting them into facilities with human rights violations. This is actively fucking disgusting. ICE needs to be ended, and Trump needs to be removed from office ASAP. Moving on to the final segment for tonight, or topic for tonight, if you will, there has been a new raid on California weed farms. Federal immigration authorities on Friday claim they arrested 200 immigrants suspected of being in the country illegally in raids on 2 California cannabis farms. The raids caused clashes between... Excuse me, sorry, I don't understand how I always burp at the end of the video. I am sorry. Being in the country illegally and raids on 2 California cannabis farms, the raids caused clashes between protesters and authorities, causing one farmer worker to be gravely injured. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement that they had arrested suspects and also found at least 10 children on the site as well. 4 U.S. citizens were arrested for assaulting or resisting an officer, and authorities offered a $50K reward on information about a gun that was fired. Glass House, a licensed California producer, said in a statement, Glasshouse has never knowingly violated applicable hiring practices and does not and has never employed minors. Honestly, I really didn't know what to say for this. I sat around for 30 minutes trying to think of a response. And it was honestly hard to think of one. This is a very quick way for a grower to lose a license and a lot of money in an industry that is arguably very contested already. I mean, it is very hard to get a grower's license wherever you are in this country, and there are a lot of people who are actively applying to do so because there's a lot of money in the cannabis industry. But it's also not an uncommon practice for children under 17 to be working in fields. As horrid as that is, it has been the case for a long time in not only the United States but California specifically. If this was true, I wouldn't be shocked at all, but it will definitely negatively impact an already controversial industry, which sucks because I mean alcohol is actively worse for you than weed. It's true. There are plenty of studies that go out there and show that it is actively worse for you, not to mention the fact that weed hasn't caused any deaths compared to the amount of deaths that alcohol causes yearly. It's unfortunate, but there's not really much anything anyone can really do there. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. We've made it past 100 episodes of the Evening News Recap. We are now passing that hump towards 200 episodes. So let's get to 200 subscribers. That would be really cool, and I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing, dropping a like, dropping a comment down below. Let me know your takes on the news for today, as I really appreciate hearing all of your guys' thoughts and opinions on all the news. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All funds, or actually, I don't know why I keep saying, please consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They'll help me pay for the things that I'll need to pay for in college. If you subscribe right now on Substack, you will get 20% off for the entire year. So, if you want a little nice deal, it's lasting until, I believe, Thursday next week is when the deal will no longer be active. So, if you want 20% off, right now it's $6 a month. Right now, or normally it would be $8 a month. But for the next week, if you purchase it now, you will only have to pay $6 a month, and it would mean the world to me. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in tomorrow's news recap. Later.